So, funny story, I was about to start filming today's video and the power has gone off. It's really stormy, so y'all aren't getting a video right now. Oh, there we go. Yes! Right, quick before it goes off again. Hi everyone and welcome back to the Colour Cave where we like to play with art stuff. My name is Jem. I thought we'd get a little bit seasonal today. I've got my little pumpkin lantern lights out. Aren't they cute? They're super cute, so we will turn them on and get myself in the spooky mood. I actually filmed this a little while ago. I'm filming this when this storm is going on and the power keeps cutting out, so this might be a bit of a chore, but this is literally the only time I have to film this video, so we're going to go for it. Some of you may remember when I moved back in July, so not that long ago, and I did a bit of adventuring around the new farm and I found a fairy door. Now, the fairy door does not get talked about, but there's always shenanigans going on, and I went out with Pip and Jock the other day, and the door wasn't there, and I was panicking because I thought someone had stolen it, and I realised it had moved over to the other side of the path because there's trees that line both sides. I decided, as the title of the video suggests, that it would be a really nice idea to make a couple of little pumpkins out of polymer clay and maybe pop one on the doorstep, which I made, of the fairy door, just for the, you know, for a surprise for the kids, because there's quite a few houses here. There's 9 properties altogether that sort of surround the farm, and quite a few of those properties have young children. So again, no one ever talks about it, but just stuff keeps happening, so I thought this would be really good fun and we could make a wee video out of it while we go. Been a long time since I've done some polymer clay, but we're going to get stuck in. So the first thing I've got here is some tin foil. I think I'm going to make 2. I'm going to make a slightly bigger one and I'm going to attempt a smaller one. My polymer clay skills are not great. I would say they're probably a little above basic, and obviously the smaller you work, the harder it is because it's tiny and details and stuff. So that's kind of why I want to make a bigger one. So I'm going to start by getting a bit of tin foil here and trying to judge what sort of size. I mean, that's going to be a fairly jumbo pumpkin in comparison to the size of the door, so I'm going to put this down quite tight. That's a fairly good start. So if I'm going to make a smaller one, then obviously I require less tin foil, so I'll try it. So I am using exclusively, most of it is the Fimo Soft. Zoom in a little bit there. Yeah, most of it is this stuff here. There's a couple of spangly ones, but this is the one that I tend to stick with. It just works. My only other concern about doing this today is that I have never put polymer clay in the oven in this house. As again I mentioned, I only moved a couple months ago. So this could be a total disaster and I might have to redo it, but we're going to try. So the first thing we want to do is manipulate this so it's nice and soft so we can roll it out. Warm it up in my hands a wee bit. My hands are quite warm, which is why I made a terrible pastry chef, which is something I used to do for a living many moons ago. I've noticed that a lot of the professional clay makers, they actually use the sort of beige coloured Sculpey and then they paint it. The colour does transfer off onto your hands with these. You know, it stops you like cross-contaminating things. I think I could go a bit thinner with this. But I happen to like this. Obviously I paint generally, so I want this to be a bit of a different experience. I suppose I should do the big one first, shouldn't I? I'm going to try and cover this round. Oh, that light's flickering. Oh no. We've kind of made like a wonton, almost. I kind of want it to be flatter on the bottom and the top. You know, just thinking about pumpkin shapes, so maybe this might be an idea. So I want to start smoothing this out now, and I've got a little ball tool. I kind of enjoyed using this last time, just to kind of like manipulate this. I say the Fimo is very soft, so it's really easy to work with. So I'm trying to get a bit of a rounder shape here. We are slightly misshapen, but it's not bad. And then make a dinkle in the top, because that's where I'm going to put the stem in. So then we can start to smooth out the areas round about. So I'm just going to use my finger to start with. I say I'm not really concerned at this stage because there's still a lot I've got to do here. There's no point in making it, you know, like perfectly smooth at this juncture. Okay, so I want to make a stem. I've got some other colours here. So I thought this isn't actually black, I think it's like a dark brown, but I'm going to use that for the pumpkin face like this. I just want to inspect it a little bit. Again, I didn't really want to open, yeah, it's like a really dark brown. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. So we want to leave the darker colours to the end just for transfer. I do have some baby wipes here. These are plastic free baby wipes now. 0% plastic wipes. And they're really good for just wiping your hands because see the colour does transfer sometimes when you're using this. But I've also got this, I don't really know what to call this. It's like a dark khaki or olive colour. And this here. Now I saw this, I did watch obviously some polymer clay tutorials because as I said I'm not very well versed on this at all. There was one in particular where I saw someone do like a twisted stock and I thought it looked really cool, so I want to try that myself. So I'm going to cut off a wee bit of this khaki colour and I'm going to cut off a wee bit of this green colour and we're going to make these into little sausages. See, this is the fun bit because this reminds me of being a kid because everyone made sausages out of Play-Doh or, you know, modelling clay or whatever when they were like, I'm talking when you were really small, like before you could spell and stuff, you could make sausages out of modelling clay. It was here in the UK, it was called plasticine and it used to come in strips that looked a bit like streaky bacon. And you used to get a pack with strips in, and if you were posh, or it was Christmas or something, you got Play-Doh. That was like the posh version. So I want to roll this out to maybe the same thickness, no, maybe not so much the length, not so bothered about the length right now. And then twist these together. So I want to make that quite tight. And then we can start making it fatter. In fact, I could double it up, couldn't I? Oh! And twist it again, that's an even better idea. Yeah, oh look at that bad boy. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this in half and I'm going to use that little piece for the smaller pumpkin and I'm going to use this big piece on this pumpkin. That's actually still too tall. Okay, we chop a bit more off. And then bend it at a jaunty angle, always. Yeah. Okay, now here's where I'm really going to challenge myself, guys. This is now scrap. Oh, that could mix it together, couldn't I? Let's not waste anything. It is a really small part. I think what I'll do is I'll maybe mix a little bit more green in with it because if we keep folding it back on itself it should mix together because this is how you mix colours or even just get a really marbly effect, which I quite like. I do that with my gouache paint as well. I was talking about that in the live stream the other day when it was the Whip Wednesday live stream. For those of you that haven't watched it yet, I was working with gouache and quite often when I'm mixing colours I don't mix them all the way. Just to give me like a bit of this kind of like marbled effect here. What I want to do now is I want to find a little cutting tool and I just want to cut out like a couple of little triangles like so, and then I want to pop them down. We'll keep one pumpkin light in sight so that we still keep the feel. Yeah, so I just want to like pop these on, but I want to kind of like soften the end a little bit so it's not really pointy because that would be a bit weird. I think maybe with this one I'll try and do it before, maybe even curl it up a little bit, that would be cool too. Got a bit overexcited with myself there. That wasn't a clean cut, that just shows you that this isn't exactly sharp. I think this is going to have to be the front. So I'm doing my best here to not touch anything. With this being quite soft clay, it's very prone to fingerprints. Now you can, obviously you can tidy them up and it's not that much of an issue, but it's just easier if they're not there in the first place. Okay, so I've curled that one up the way a little bit. I'll try and show you from a down low angle. Yeah, so you'll see it better from this angle. So you can see I've flicked that up the way, and we've got our little stem now as well, which is cute. I think I'll do one more. Okay. Now that I've done the legwork, I've got my my tile here, and the rest of the work I'm going to do on the tile because this is going to go straight into the oven. As I said, this is Fimo, so it's oven baked clay. So I want to place my eye holes now. So just making a mark with this tool here. So there we go, we've got 2 eye hole areas. And then after that I'm going to grab a really tiny ball tool. Really weeny. And I'm just going to use this to punch out the mouth here. Starting to look a little bit like a pumpkin. For that, I might actually just use this dark brown that I've already got. This khaki colour I think will be okay. Tiny little bits, and I'm going to put that in where I made the marks on the eyes. And again, just using this tiny ball tool, I'm going to poke it in the gap and really sort of press it down, just to press it in there. Yeah, so it's actually quite delicate, but it still looks authentic, you know, as if there's an indent there. You're not just slapping on a triangle kind of thing. I always think though with this stuff, like, this is the easy bit as far as I'm concerned. It's the smoothing out and making it not look like a potato. This is the difficult part. But yeah, there's that. So I'll pop that in there, push it down a little. So we've got some eyes. And for this mouth part, I'm just gonna, I feel like I'm giving him a moustache here. So really what I want to do now is I want to kind of open this up a little bit. Like, I feel that this is too thin, that his mouth should be wider. So let's get that in there first. Like, maybe this should be down a bit. If the power does go off again, I will just keep going. I've got a battery backup on the camera, so there might be like a flicker when it changes over, but it should be okay. See, unfortunately this was the forecast. Lots of people have got flooding and things. I hope we don't get any of that. But there is an awful lot of rain, like there is. It does look kind of cute. I want some more dark colour though. I need to widen this mouth part here. Put a little bit more in there. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now I am going to try and smooth them out a little bit. Learned this trick a long time ago from Nerdy Crafter Jackie, and Surgical Spirit in America, you call it rubbing alcohol. It's the same thing. I love the smell of it. A little bit of that on a cotton bud or a Q-tip, and you can smooth out very successfully, very easily with this. So I'm just taking away where it's actually nail indents for me more than anything, obviously, because I tend to have longer nails. I just want to smooth all those out. And the good thing is now, because I'm working on this tile, I can manipulate it and move it round. I'm actually quite happy with the shape and everything, and that's relatively smooth. It's a bit, but the thing is as well, because I'm going to want texture here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just start putting in some lines. You know, like the contours that you would find. So the way that I've found easiest to do stuff like this is to jack the tile up very slightly, usually at the front, so it's tipping away an angle. So I'm just going to use my baby wipes that I brought out for my hands. But that allows me to go from the top to the bottom here. So I want to start them at the front here. Maybe use some broken lines. I really want to tidy up this leaf situation here. I haven't smoothed out the stalk yet. My thumbprints are still all over it anyway, so. Ha! Oh, I've just put my nail in there, damn it. Okay, so back to my Q-tip. I dip in here, and I just want to take my thumbprints off of this stalk. Yes. Perfect. So we've got texture on the stalk, we've got texture on the actual pumpkin part itself, and little dude's got a face, so really happy with that. I'm going to try and duplicate that now. I probably speed this part up, so I'm going to move him up to the back, out the way. Put him out here. Off you go now. And let's see if we can do this all over again. I'd just like to say I'm not confident. That was really difficult, and that's the bigger one of the two. So yeah, I don't think this is going to go well, but we're going to try. We're going to try. Nearly dropped that there. That wouldn't have been very good. Manipulate this, heat this up. You roll it out. Try and make it a bit more pumpkin shaped to start with. That'd probably be helpful. So squish it flat a wee bit. So I'm going to make this the top. Do the smoothie a little bit with my fingers. Oh, okay. I think I might do some leaves first this time. See if I can get a bit more of a professional finish on that. So maybe cut these out first. I don't know, the weather doesn't normally make me nervous, but the weather is making me nervous today. I have been dutifully informed that Papa Jem and Mr. Jem are safely installed inside a shed somewhere. They are doing inside jobs today. Obviously this is not a day for, you know, doing normal outsidey farmery stuff. To be fair, Papa Jem's usually undercover anyway, because he tends to come and repair things for Mr. Jem. Bearing in mind that my father is a time-served mechanic. That's what he did in his youth. And he also likes to tinker with tractors and machinery in general. So, yeah. I do have a sharper blade than this. I just really don't want to use it. Stem. This is going to have to make this a lot skinnier and smaller. Kind of like round this off and flatten it off a little bit. Really fat. I have to narrow it down at one end. Right, let's try that. That looks better. Yeah! Actually much happier with this one. I just have to decide now which side is I think this might be the front here. Oh! I can feel my hands are starting to feel a bit strange, so this is a good time to give them a wipe. I'm wondering if I should maybe have put a little bit of liquid skull paint in under the stalks, but I think, I mean, they're fairly well squished in there because I've put them in a hole. I think they'll be okay. I am trying to remember though that these are going outside. That's going to significantly impact the integrity of the build, as it were. But we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Clean our hands now. Going to grab this little dude, and we're going to get underway with his eyes. And I kind of want to give him like a toothy sort of, I don't know. Let me just get his mouth on the go first. And I want these to be happy pumpkins. Like, they can't be scary pumpkins because some of the kids are really, really small, as in not even at school, and I don't want them to be. I don't want them to be frightened. So like maybe this wee dude's got one tooth that's going to stick up right in the middle there. Yeah, just the one. Look, oh, he's quite cute. There we go. See? And I'm thinking as well, I might actually widen this eye out a bit on this one. Can't talk and do that at the same time. That's because I've got to concentrate, guys. Got to concentrate. I'm going to have quite a bit of smoothing to do here, but do you know what? That's okay. It's fine. We're actually doing all right so far. So, see, this is it. It's a very different feeling doing these types of videos. Normally, obviously, the supplies and things that I'm using, I'm fairly well versed in. I'm very much not well versed when it comes to things like polymer clay. I enjoy this though, like this is fun. I'm just obviously not my normal wheelhouse, but I think we're doing okay. I would love to hear in the comments how many of you enjoy we would say a footer. You know, like how many of you enjoy messing about with polymer clay and just you know, doing little projects like this. You know, maybe as like a secondary part of your arting, because I for one think it's very enjoyable. It's nice to change things up sometimes as well. Right now I definitely have acrylic paint fatigue. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, I am absolutely sick of the sight of acrylic paint. And I certainly don't want to see any more of it. And that's in any format. Tubes, paint pens, you know, I take it away, please. So I thought this was a lovely way to refresh myself. You know, keep in with the theme here. Obviously, being in the UK, we don't really go for Halloween the way you guys do in the States and possibly Canada. We do, like, the kids dress up and stuff, but it's just not that big a deal for us. But as I say, because there are children in the vicinity, and also obviously we've got fairy doors. Like, come on, it would be rude not to. Look at this little dude. Yeah, okay, so let's try and smooth this out a little bit now. I actually think I like him more than I like the other guy now. I'm going to get a little bit of surgical spirit here again. Take that away. I can't really smooth that anymore. Time to do some lines. Honestly, this works so well. See the surgical spirit and the cotton bud. It really works well. It cleans it up nicely as well. So see if you've maybe got like wee bits of fluff or something stuck in it. Telling you, way forward. Really good. Okay, So, and it evaporates really quickly as well. Obviously it's alcohol based, so you don't have to wait forever for it to dry. I get this one off of Amazon. If you're in the UK, you can get this posted out to you. Obviously your local pharmacy will have it as well. I would imagine that would be the most sensible place for people to get it. I think the first time I actually bought this, I bought it during lockdown, and I think this was why I ended up with this brand, because it was it was the only place I could get it, kind of thing. Because everyone was out of supplies everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to add in some texture now, exactly the same way as I did with the other one. Okay, let's round off the top and get these little dudes in the oven. Okay, the instructions for Fimo say here 110 degrees for 30 minutes. That's 110 Celsius, which is 230 Fahrenheit. All of our ovens are in Celsius. I'm going to check them after 20 minutes. As I say, my oven that I have here is an unknown quantity for things like that, so wish me luck. Alright, so we survived the oven. Look how cute these little dudes are. They're super cute. I've got a wee side view going on here, and it's just so that you can maybe see things in 3D a little bit better. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my my cake stand, my swirly cake stand, woo! And I'm just going to get a coat of Mod Podge on. Now the Mod Podge I have here is the outdoor Mod Podge. This came as part of a set of different ones. There's like a sparkly one and a matte one and a gloss one. So this, from what I've gathered, is a good bit thicker than the other stuff. Just got an old paintbrush here. And I've already done the bottoms so that I could set them down. You can see they're a wee bit shiny there. They've got a wee bit of a gloss on them. This stuff's really firm though. So I feel as if I'm going to have to hold on to my pumpkins. Okay. So let's see how we go here. Yeah, 100% going to have to hold on to these little dudes. Okay, I think the best way is probably to hold them by the stalk and the bottom, because obviously their bottoms are bottom. Bottoms are dry now. So let's just see. These don't need to be like mega waterproof, truthfully. They're only going to be outside for like a couple of weeks. And then I'll be bringing them back in, and they're also going to be sort of under the shelter of like of a tree, so they're not, unless the wind's blowing directly onto them, they're not going to be open to the elements, so to speak. But it does depend on which way the wind's blowing. So this stuff does dry clear. You don't want it really thick white like that. That's too much. I'm also trying to go with the grain of the pumpkin as well, so that if it's not smooth, I mean, you are going to see brush strokes, so it's in my best interests to have them going with the grain of the pumpkin. I didn't seem to have any problems with the oven either. It was fine. It was fine. So that's good news. It's always a bit daunting when you've got a new oven. You're like, oh. You just never know how things are going to turn out. I'm going to try and get this last section here without touching him. Man, this stuff is sticky. If I just turn that around now, he's looking a bit sticky. He looks happy though, to be fair. Like, that's quite the thing. So we'll do big pumpkin now. I'm really pleased in that, like, the size difference is perfect between the two of them. Not too small, like just a good size. I'm really happy with that. Just squeeze some of this out and mix it again. I'm gonna mix it. Oh. It does become less rigid when you give it a really good mix, which is helpful. So I'm just gonna use the same method again. Let's get this little dude done. I feel as if I've given him almost like a nose there. I did that by accident. Make sure I get the other underneath curve part here as well. I did bring, when I was doing the bottom, I did bring it up slightly round onto the curve, so, it shouldn't be too bad, but just want to be sure. And then I can plonk him down, and that means I can just do the very top of the stalk here. I'll bring this real close. So this part here. Was that overkill? Possibly. Do you know what's really unusual? I've got my sleeves down today. I actually hate cuffs round my wrist. I don't mind wearing jewellery on my wrist, I just don't like cuffs. And I've actually got my sleeves rolled down today, which is very unusual for me. I'm just feeling cosy today though. Right, okay, so basically now we wait. I'm going to leave these little dudes to dry, and once they're dry we're going to brave the tail end of Storm Babette. It does seem to be calming down a little bit, it's just really wet now. So we're going to go and place one of our pumpkins at the fairy door, and that will be mission accomplished. Okay, it's still really windy. I'm going to have to be careful here. If this looks even remotely dangerous, I'm not going to do it obviously because I've got dogs with me. I've just been told that one of the trees is down near the fairy door, and I don't know if it is the fairy door tree. So we're just going to take a little wander down. The wind is still really strong down this part. So we're just going to try and be sensible and be safe. We'll try and figure out what's going on and see if we can put our pumpkin down. If not, we'll come and do it another day. Okay, so far so good. It is not the original fairy door tree, because I can see that that's still upright, so that's a start. Oh no! Oh, I can see it. It's not the fairy door tree, but it's one of the really big